Are you tired of your meetings? We've worked with hundreds of leadership teams across a variety of industries for the last 20 years. We've made it our business to research, analyze, and study what makes team meetings productive. Now, when we say productive, we mean time well spent and engaging. It boils down to two key ingredients: joint accountability and conflict able. We'll share more about these concepts in a minute, but first we want to start with a story to illustrate. See if you relate.
We worked with a technology company responsible for building and selling hardware for innovative chip designs. We sat in on one of their weekly 90-minute executive team meetings. Each of the VPs did an extensive status report. They had PowerPoint slides. They shared stats and measures. Each of these 6 VPs had 10 minutes for their update, and then there was a 5-minute Q&A. In that Q&A, the only comments came from the CEO, who often was very critical of the data and just wanted more analysis. Now, you out there watching this video, do you think that had a positive effect? A negative effect? Or maybe didn't even matter? We'll tell you the effect in a minute, but first, let's finish the story. At the end of the meeting, we asked if this was their usual. They nodded. Then we asked, what's your score on a scale of 1 to 10 on the value of this meeting? The average score from the team was a 7. We had a very different score and asked if they would be interested in our feedback. Sure. We scored the meeting a 3. They were surprised. Here's why.
Joint accountability. Now, I know through my years as a manager at Arthur Andersen in my MBA program, we pummeled in the idea of single point accountability. The buck stops here. And when we brought this idea of joint accountability up with the team, we got a lot of pushback. So I went on to share, teams that focus on single point accountability run into these dysfunctions. First, silos. People stay in their own lane. So when a topic comes up, they don't chime in on the meeting because it's like, well, it's not my area. This leads to boring meetings. Plus, they don't want to throw their teammate under the bus, so they disengage. It also leads then to mediocre business results because the team isn't engaging. You're not getting the best thinking. Are you out there watching this video having any of these issues? Are you holding back because you don't want to throw your teammate under the bus? It's not your position. Are your team results mediocre? The VPs on this team seem to agree. Imagine if your team had collective goals, joint accountability, and were conflict able. When a topic came up, your peers would engage. They'd feel ownership. They'd be thinking as a business owner, not a department head. You'd have a whole different conversation in the room and improved results. If this is something you're looking to implement, we'll tell you how you can work together with us to improve your meetings. First, let's tell you about their next objection, which, won't it make our meetings longer? This leads to our second ingredient.
Not conflict able. What's conflict able? It's actually letting yourself tolerate, experience, and even invite conflict. Now, you may be thinking, you must be out of your minds. Mm-hmm. But if you stay with us for the next minute, you're going to see the beauty of conflict. You see, there was little or no conflict during this meeting. You want people chiming in, and not just the CEO. This team didn't think they had any conflict avoidance, but did acknowledge that they did not like to call each other out and were uncomfortable themselves getting feedback. They preferred it one-on-one. We shared that this also deadens the meeting and is quite ineffective.
Imagine people being able to have rich ideological debate in your meetings about ideas. Imagine someone speaking up and saying, hey, I have a different point of view. I disagree. Imagine people bringing up things in the meeting versus outside the meeting or taking things offline. Once people feel this joint accountability, they'll weigh in and engage. They'll also want to get to decisions, not just debate.
So with the team we were with, we asked, how engaged have you been for this last 30-minute discussion? They said, once you scored us a 3, we were totally engaged. See, conflict adds juice. And they all of a sudden felt accountable. They got it. The team decided to give some of our ideas a try. They also acknowledged that they wanted more work on the conflict-able aspect. So we facilitated them through our 2-day offsite. Yes, virtually. But it was powerful. There was conflict.
And they engaged, and that turned the team around. Now their team meetings aren't boring. They've made strategic moves that have had positive impact on the bottom line. How about your team? We'd be happy to observe one of your team meetings complimentary and give you our assessment. You can contact us at thrive@thriveinc.com. That's THRIVE@THRIVEINC.com. Or you can private message us. You can make your meetings, your team, and your business results great.